Hi folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. So this time I'm on a local pond. It's not Den's pond, it's actually a bit bigger and a bit deeper, and one of the reasons I'm here is to do a video about accuracy when you're fishing with a method feeder. Now obviously I can get the angle right because I can aim at a target like a tree or a house or something on the far bank, but how do you get the distance right so you're feeding in the same place every time? And in fact this was prompted by one of my subscribers called Clive, and he said, I understand about using the reel clip with a method feeder to ensure the cast is the same distance each time. So I'm then baiting up the peg methodically. But doesn't this take the clutch out of play? If I'm on the line clip and you get a hard bite from a fish that wants to run, how do you give line to the fish? And conversely, if I cast out and take the line off the clip to allow the clutch to work, and I get a fish that goes on a run, how do I find my distance again without having to, he says replumb, but you get the idea, to get it in the same place. Any help, gratefully received. Cheers. So Clive, this one's for you. Thanks for waiting, mate. It's been a few weeks since I said I'd do this one for you. And today then, we're going to do this video specifically to cover how to get accurate feeding. Now, we're not on a commercial, one of those snake lakes where you'd be fishing to the far bank feature. Those are slightly easier because when you've got the far bank and you cast your method feeder, so it's sort of that far from the bank, that's actually quite good because that way the fish can either go left or right or come towards you. And that helps you with your question about the clutch. So now to the bit you're interested in for today, and let's do the casting. Now I have already cast out and I've decided to fish at about 30 meters. This place is as flat as a billiard table once you get out there, so it's just an arbitrary distance for me, but I've decided it's about 30 meters, so I've put the line under the line clip. I'm therefore going to aim at a tree over there to give me my line, and then obviously, as I say, I'm clipped up to give me my length. Now what I'm going to do is if I cast out and then let the rod come backwards like that, you can see that hit the water. Now I've actually got 3 turns on the reel there, just sinking the line and trimming the tip. So Clive, to answer your question about using the clutch, immediately by holding the rod back like that, we've gained ourselves 3 turns. Just trim this tip properly while I'm talking. We've gained ourselves about 3 turns on the line clip. Now that's quite good because it means that if we do get a fish on, we've got a little bit of leeway to strike and to see what the fish is going to do. Just a quick word of warning here on the casting in. You cast out, it goes into the water, and you've held your rod back so your feeder is in exactly the right place already. Don't reel in and pull the feeder in. The feeder must stay exactly where it was. So cast, plops in, retrieve the slack line, put it in the rests, sink the line, and then just trim the tip by just moving the handles until the tip is slightly bent. That way the feeder is going to be exactly the same position as it was when it landed, and that way it's in exactly the same position as all the rest of your bait. And because I've got the rod at quite an angle here, if the fish takes off, I can allow the rod to straighten out a little bit if I need to. I can allow the clutch to do its job, and it just gives me that little bit of leeway so that I hopefully don't ever have to unclip. If it does carry on going out that way, which makes it difficult, you have to get the bail arm open and release the line clip. If you do get to the situation where you're either about to hit the line clip because you can see it, or you know you've hit the line clip because you can feel the rod bump, make sure you've got the rod out as an acute angle either to the right or to the left. That gives you a little bit of time still to allow the rod to be pulled around whilst you unclip, fingers over, and then re-engage the bail arm. That way you shouldn't get any slack in the line, because you really don't want that, especially if you're using a barbless hook. So the question is, if you have to release the line clip because you've got a fish on, how do you know where to go back to? Well, in my case, when I set up originally, I've actually reeled in and counted the amount of reel turns, and mine, just for the sake of this video, happens to be exactly 30 turns. So just remember that in the event that you have to unclip, you need to be back at 30 turns. So let's simulate how it works when you've taken the clip off. Hang on, see how much line I gave myself. Taken the clip off, and now I'll reel in, and of course I have no idea now exactly how far I've got to go. And that's what I was saying before about the counting the turns. So what I'm going to do, you don't have to do it this way, it's just a way to do it. If I cast out a little bit past where I would normally be, okay, and I'll clip up again. And now I'm going to count the turns again. So 1, 2, 3. Right, so that was 32 turns. So I was fairly accurate. I'm about 2 meters past, because every turn of the reel handle is just under a meter of line. So I'll cast out again, away from where I'm fishing, hit the line clip, and then add 2 turns onto the reel and clip up. So that's 1, 2. Clip up, 30, and there we are. I've caught the rod, but that's me back to exactly where I need to be, and that's how simple it can be. Now that's my way of doing it when I want to fish in open waters. There is another way of doing it called distance sticks, and you probably use that one more on a commercial, where, as I explained before, you may be fishing tight up to that far bank, so you can't overcast and do my method. I'll show you that now, and then you'll be able to get exact distances next time you have to unclip on a commercial of that type. So now let's talk about distance sticks. In my case, I've got a bank stick in the ground just here, another one just here, and they're 3 meters apart. How do I know they're 3 meters apart? Because my landing net handle is 3.3 meters, and I've taken about 30 centimeters from the end and stuck them in at 3 meters. So why 3 meters? Well, because it's convenient. I can count up in multiples of 3, and that just helps me. You can have them at 4 meters if you want to, or this is just what I like to do. So let me now show you how to use these. This is actually quite simple. I sit on the box to do it, and all I do is take the feeder, whether it be a cage feeder or a method feeder, just wrap it around the first stick, retreat to the box, making sure you don't trip over your microphone lead on the way, bail arm off, and then just go around the sticks. So that's 1, just hold the line as you go, 2, 3, 4, right, so that's it. And in my case, it strangely enough comes to exactly 10 goes around, and the tip of the rod is pretty much by the left hand stick here. Obviously, if you'd come in a couple of feet, it's 10 turns plus, say, I don't know, 60 centimeters. Just work that out for yourself. But this is going to enable you on a snake lake particularly to get back to that far bank line without having to sort of redo everything. And it really is as simple as that. When you're done, engage the bail arm and reverse the process and just reel in. Now, word of warning, guys, don't take the tension off the clutch and try and pull it around on a very slack clutch. All that does is give you lots and lots and lots of line twist, and you really don't want that. You need to avoid that at all costs. And just one final thing, guys, before I go. The more eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed I'm using this reel, which is an MAP reel, and this has a thing called the ACS, or automatic clip system, for the line clip. Now, as you've seen, I can use it in exactly the same way as a normal line clip, but this has a separate little indentation there, and so it unclips itself when you catch a fish. If I pull this line, you can see it coming around, and then in a second you can maybe see that there's the line's going through this area here rather than underneath now. If I pull this, there you go, it just pulled itself out and now it's free running. Again, just to prove it to you, you can see now that that's actually released itself from the line clip. And that's what I use for mine. It saves me an awful lot of hassle. Anyway, that's it for another one then, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. If you want to subscribe, you can do that too. And until the next time, bye for now.